Okay, it's crazy. While you're brushing your teeth, you have moments of clarity. So I don't think people have realized that we are living through a real world experience of Westworld. Okay, so Westworld was a television series on HBO. You can go see it. It has a couple of seasons. Some of those seasons are pretty interesting. And it's sci-fi meets Western, and it really can engage a very large audience, especially with the suspense and the things going on and the debauchery that goes on. Tandy Newton's in it and a lot of other people. I bring this up because for many people, is not real or Israel is Westworld. You can literally go over to Israel. You can participate in the IDF and the things that are going on in Gaza and in the West Bank. You can kill, steal, and destroy, engage in debauchery. But when you go home, you're washed. You're blood washed. You both your religion and really your mission and your goals and the desires and what's allowed over there, it gives you the whole Westworld experience. In Westworld, the inhabitants of Westworld were all robots. So you see the thing right there. And so the idea was that everything that you did to a entity in Westworld, one of the characters, it never really actually happened. It happened, but if you SA the robot, it doesn't matter because it wasn't a human, right? They dehumanized the artificial intelligence, in the same way Palestinians are dehumanized, which allows for them to then mistreat them and unalive them in the most horrifying ways. And they do the same thing in Westworld. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I do want you to go watch it, but I wanted to capture this thought process because people don't even realize how, like, Israel and even the early pre-America, the colony stage, when settler colonials were going over into the North America, and forcing their way into it, they were able to live a life of a destroyer, a narcissist, an assayer, a murderer, etc., serial unaliver, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter because the humans that were there are like the robots in Westworld. They are not human, right? And even though they might be considered human, they are not the kind of human that has value. And so all of the nonsense that we see in Israel is the same nonsense that goes on in Westworld, because Westworld really was a playground, and is a playground for the ultra wealthy, people of the oppressors class. And it's only by virtue of your connection to the oppressor class that you, as like a millionaire, might get invited into this world. It's an interesting series. It has some amazing actors in it. I have not given you spoilers, so go check it out. It's worth a watch. Around about season 3 kind of starts to kind of fizzle out a little bit, but it's worth a watch because what you're seeing is what's going on in Westworld, and the correlations there are frightening. Because at least in Westworld, people who were being unalived were typically the robots, and the robots, they just repaired the robots, extracted the bullets, and moved on, sewed them back together, all that kind of stuff. But in reality and in Gaza, this whole seeing another human as something that's dehumanized and can be harmed, and whose life doesn't matter, it is as disgusting and as reprehensible as we have all been discussing all over the internet. So go and enjoy Westworld if you can, based on what's going on. And then definitely fight for a free Palestine, for a permanent ceasefire. Because as we all know, what Israel is doing to Gaza is nothing more than creating more Hamas, more resistance fighters to what they're doing, to the ideology, to the way of being. And in the end, as the world's opinion changes and You will find that the money's not going to be there, the protection's not going to be there. Once they fire off those few nuclear warheads that they do have, they're weak. They're going to go through some weak and dark days. And I'm even projecting if they try to build, as has been theorized, in Gaza, over the rubble, because what they were doing was literally, it was just demolition with the people inside. The same thing that happened at 9/11. It was demolition with the people inside. So those areas, which are truly the graveyard of those poor people, to live there will create the same experience as those people who were in that submarine at the bottom of the sea, taking a joy ride into poor people's graveyard. As those people were strewn out and taken into the sea, same thing's going to happen to people who try to live there on the land in Gaza. It's going to be like Lake Lanier. People are going to routinely and consistently die. So anyway, it's just a thought.